All right, everyone, welcome to the Unwoke Zine workshop. I'm so excited to have everyone here. As people are filing in, I want everyone to visit the chat section, make sure everything is working okay, and you can communicate in the chat section throughout the presentation. Please let me know that you can hear my voice in the chat just to make sure things are working okay on my end. I see Bot, I see Reagan, I see Rebecca. If you guys want to let us know where you are chatting in from today, that'll be fine just to test it out. We are okay. Everyone can hear me. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you guys so much. We see Russell. We see Christopher. Awesome. We see Christine. Reagan is from Georgia. We've got Janet here today. Mary says you can hear. Awesome. Welcome, Mary. Janet is from Wisconsin. Christopher is from hot ass Florida. I think it's hot everywhere these days. Philip is a new follower. Hey, welcome, Philip. Good to have you. Lisa is here. Gayla is here. Gayla just needs some coffee. She just woke up. I know Gayla is in a much different time zone than I am. Rebecca is from Vancouver, Washington. What we're gonna do is we're gonna give people a couple minutes to file in. I just want to make sure everyone in the chat works. I can see that our illustrious presenter Allison has turned on her webcam. Allison, do you want to come off mute and say hi to everyone as they're filing in?
Hello.
There she is.
I'm going to share my screen.
Awesome. Allison, should we put up a video while we're waiting for people to file in?
Yeah. Should I start my tune?
Yeah, let's start the song, and we will well, that's a screen share. Let's start that video, and it sounds like everyone's saying the volume is on point, and we'll play a music video. Oh, you got it under control.
Here goes.
Boom. All right, everyone enjoy the music, a little mood music, if you will. Awesome. What a way to start us off. And what I loved about that was that we could see you working on the side there, Allison, during, and that was cool. That was cool. Um,
Yeah.
all right. So
Alright.
what I'd love to do now, we know everyone's here. We're still some people filing in, but let's go ahead and get started. I want to just do a little brief introduction while Allison is still over there doing her thing, and I just want to again welcome everyone to our first ever Unwoke Zine workshop. And I'm really excited that everyone is joining me here. If you happen to be watching this recording, my name is Carlin Borisenko. I am an independent journalist that covers the far left, and I do streams on YouTube, X, Rumble, showing people what the far left is doing in the world. I do a Substack, carlin.substack.com, that we're going to be talking about. And one of the things that we've encountered on our journey on the far left is that one of the things they use is propaganda to recruit people to their political cause, to get more people on their team, is the concept of zines. Now, what the hell is a zine? You're looking at a couple examples that Allison has created over there. You can see what she's doing right in front of us. But like zines are basically a DIY publication that you can create in the comfort of your own home. They are meant to be handmade. They are meant to be imperfect. They're meant to just be an organic kind of creative compilation of an idea, a concept. It could be, full. They could be a zine, could be a couple of pages. It could be many, like we just heard earlier today. It could be dozens of pages, even 100 pages. It could be a whole booklet of information. And what it is it's meant to articulate an idea in a creative and compelling way. You can do essays, you can do just one-off posters, you can do anything. You can make games and puzzles and stuff like that. And it's just a really, really cool way to get people engrossed in an idea. Now, the left is much more creative than the counterparts on the right. And so, one of the things we've decided to do in my community is kind of reclaim this idea of a zine and start making our own unwoke zines. Because if the left is going to be out there putting this information out there on college campuses and coffee shops and bookstores, all the places in the real world that you recruit new people to a cause, we need to be there too. Now, here's the thing. We want to invite all of you to join us on this journey, because for the last several months in my supporter Discord, and we'll talk about how you can get into the supporter Discord, there have been several people participating in creating these unwoke zines. Allison, of course, has been spearheading this effort. We've had Gayla doing some great stuff. We've had Bot doing some great stuff. We've had Sin doing some great stuff. And I want to encourage people, if you haven't become involved in the Unwoke Zine stuff yet, I really want to encourage people to give it a try. Even if you think that you are not artistic, even if you're intimidated by it and you're like, I can never make something that looks that cool, Allison is going to teach you tonight how to make something that looks that cool using materials that you probably already have access to in your own home. Allison is very big on hand-drawn stuff, handmade stuff, like all this. You can see her cutting things out with an X-Acto knife, and that she's printed out and kind of putting them together. And so that's one way you can do them. I also think there's a huge opportunity to use AI art. We're so lucky we have all this AI available to us. Some of you have been making AI music. I think we can do the same with AI art. I think you can use online editing tools like Canva, that just will help you do things more digitally if that's the way you want to go. And really, zines can look like anything. Allison obviously has a very distinctive artistic style, but your zine doesn't have to look like her zine. It could literally be anything. And I'm sure she'll talk about that in the presentation. So I do just want to invite everyone into this little project. I really want to encourage everyone to flex their creative muscle, because it may worst thing that happens, you spend some time doing a creative project, and that's still cool. If you want to see some of the zines that have already been created, you can head over to the website Unwoke Underground. That is unwokeunderground.com. Part of the things that we're doing, and what I want to do, and I call this our own little project mayhem, where what we want to do is we want to create a massive public archive of propaganda materials in the form of zines that people can print off in their own home, take and put around their community to teach people what the left is doing. Now, Project Mayhem, of course, in Fight Club was about blowing things up. We're not going to blow anything up. No violence. We disavow and denounce all violence. That's not what we're doing. We are going to make creative stuff that we are going to litter out into the world in new and creative ways. And we'll talk about that behind the scenes ideas that we have to do that. But you can currently see some of the things that have been created at unwokeunderground.com. You can download them, you can print them off, you can use them in the real world. When you create zines in the as part of the project, we do ask that you allow us to put them up on the website, allow anyone to download them. That's part of the point of all of this, is to make this publicly available. You can print them off at home, you can put stuff on t-shirts and things like that if you want. You can do whatever you want with these materials, because the goal is to create something that will capture people's attention and get the information out there, because we are in an information warfare game. So you can head over to Unwoke Underground for more information about that. Now, I mentioned the supporter Discord earlier, and Allison is going to be taking you through a tour of the supporter Discord. All of this is located in a community of my supporters, of the work I'm doing over my Substack, my YouTube channel, all this stuff. And and you do have to be a supporter of my work either on the Substack or my locals community. I prefer the Substack in order to gain access to the Discord. That, quite frankly, is how we keep the trolls out. We keep everything nice. You can sign up for $8 a month, so I don't think I'm breaking the bank here. And by the way, if you really do have financial difficulties and you just can't swing the $8 a month, reach out to me privately. There have been many times where I've been able to. I have memberships that have been donated that people can use. So we are a community that takes care of each other. Of course, I love it when people are able to financially support my work, but I know that some people are just in a position where they really do want to be involved, but they just can't do it. Reach out to me privately, and we can accommodate that, and that's okay. We can find someone to donate you a membership. I don't want anyone to think this is about money, all right? Because that's not what it's about. It's just about, we have to have a way to filter out people who are going to cause problems for us. And quite frankly, $8 a month is a really easy way to do it. And so that's what we chose to do. If you want to sign up for that, you can head over to my Substack, which is Carlin, again, KARLYN.substack.com. Go to the big old subscribe button up in the top, and that'll take you to your subscription options. And again, I do appreciate all the support for my work. I'm completely grassroots funded by people like you. I don't take big checks from political organizations, because my only job is to tell you the truth and to show you the receipts so that you can see what's going on and decide for yourself what you think about it. Once you get signed up as a subscriber on the Substack, I do a weekly newsletter called the Unwoke Roundup. Every single week, the link to the supporter Discord changes, but you can always find the current link in the Unwoke Roundup newsletter. So you can always go on the Substack and look for the latest Unwoke Roundup for that week, and that will get you access to the supporter Discord, where you will find the Unwoke Zine project, and Allison will be showing you around that a little bit more. Anyway, I'm really excited everyone is here. I am done my little introductory spiel, and I'm going to turn it over to Allison. If you have questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to put the questions in the Q&A tab specifically. Allison will not be paying attention to the chat, but I will be paying attention to the chat, and we'll do a little tag team presentation. But I want to turn things over to Allison and let her take the show away, and she can teach us all about the wonderful world of zines.
Hi, everybody. Okay, I'm going to get us into our Discord. And here we go. Are we in? I think we're in, right?
I
Yep.
don't see a screen share yet.
Wait. Okay, that's fine. There.
There it is. Now I see it.
That'll work. Okay. They had too many options. All right, you guys. So some of you might have been in the Discord and seen the great category street team team content coordination Unworked Zine project. If you're curious about the music we just played, it is the link to the playlist on my YouTube channel is there. And here are some, so that we've got all kinds of stuff in here. You guys can see that Gala has put in stuff. Actually, I think I had that video, but there's a lot of stuff to look at that talks about zines in general as well. A couple articles. So I did do a post of zine reference images. So these are things that just kind of will, it's a kind of a collage feel. as you get, these are very small. Okay, there's a classic punk rock poster, like well, like the flyer, just say 8.5 by 11. So like, but it has the zine feel. So what we're going to do today is basically a just a flyer, just a single page, 8.5 by 11 page, and then later on, we can explore breaking it up into the booklets and kind of how that all works. It's a little more involved, but once you know how to like choose your images and think what to think about, it'll make a lot more sense. And so let's keep going here. But so you can kind of see like there's a lot in here. What else? Oh, I want to point out this one artist. His name is, so I guess I could tell you a little bit of my background, why this is so, I wish I could make it bigger. Maybe that one's bigger. So I came up in Los Angeles, California, Hollywood, California. I didn't live there, but I was in LA. I was actually one of the middle class kids that drove over from the West Side to the seedy parts of town to see these shows. But so in my day, it was kind of the vibe when this came out. Okay, this guy's name is Raymond Pettibone, and he was famous for doing the flyers and I think album covers. He did one for Sonic Youth more in the 90s. So he was just kind of this artist guy, but so this is like this attitude of, it's like kind of feeble, kind of, and there's something that doesn't quite make sense, but yet you want to find out more. Okay, where is this one? So I do recommend everyone kind of look through all this stuff, because it's, so this category specifically for reference in capital letters, do not reproduce or cut up any of these things, because, well, this one you could, but a lot of these in this category are other artists. Where is that? Where's more of a, oh, here's Dead Kennedys, who we just listened to, and Red Cross, one of my favorites. So you can see it's just like a Xeroxy photo, you know, some people and some cutout type. Okay, so the main thing about zines is the spontaneous idea of that it feels spontaneous, but yet it's very passionate. So it's like generally the idea of zines is very personal, something that someone's really passionate about, their little niche market, like he was saying it from the guy's paper today, we heard in Collins Live. So, but we're not going to kind of think that way, like super personal on what we're, telling a story. That would be for like a personal project. What we're doing here is we are the Unwoke Army. And so, here we go. Let's see. Oops, that's not it. Okay, this is where we start for Carlin's information. So all about the ideas. So that's where any zine starts, is your passion, your idea. What do you want to focus on? What do you want to say? So what we want to say in this case is whatever these Carlin's topics. So the re-education series and the Woke 101, the ones I've done prior all go to Woke 101, but now Carlin's got these new pages. So this is important that you start here for this project for Carlin, because this is the basis of it. And so what I have done, so I took this article. Is this the one I got? Yes.
Allison, do you mean to be showing the Discord right now, or do you mean to be showing the article?
Oh, I mean to be showing the article. Whoops.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's okay. You're still showing the
All
Discord,
right.
so I think stop
Because
share.
it made me pick a tab.
Yeah, I think you just need to stop share and switch over to the new tab.
Screen. Switch screen. Okay. Oh, I see. It makes you, okay. Sorry about this, you guys.
That's okay.
Here we go. There we go. Share. Okay. Okay. This is what I'm talking about on Carlin's Substack, Actively Unwoke, the re-education series that
There
she's
we go.
working on now. And so let's see. This is the first one, but all of these, read about it. But what you kind of want to look for. So the one that I'm going to focus on, because this one's kind of like you're talking about the process and what you're teaching us in general, but this is to like a specific topic, the abolish capitalism. So this is close to my heart, this topic in particular, because it's, as you can see in all this stuff, abolishing private property. We all know about that. So all of these great points, see, and she's got all bullet pointed. So what I did was I copied, just like you would copy paste, and then I created. Now is it not showing? I have to go over here again.
Yeah, it's just showing the article.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Switch screen. Okay, I want to go to this one. There we go. Okay. So I just went in Google Drive, Google Docs. And so I just dragged it over here, right? And I kind of played with the font. I played with the size because this paper that's going to print out in my little printer is what I'm going to cut up and use on the zine. Some of it, parts of it, all of it, I don't know yet. So that's how I kind of adjusted it. Here's more little. So I was thinking of cutting, I'm going to cut out these little parts. You can see that, you can get a lot of information. So that's just one way I get my type. And that way, if we're working right from Carlin's stuff, we don't have to really get too far off into like our own theories or anything like that for this project. I mean, welcome to do that on your own using these techniques, but we just want to be simple and there it is. So and zines can be different. Like I could put just abolish private property or something intriguing. So as you're looking at these articles of Carlin, see how I kind of highlighted out words. Like maybe I'll just take these parts of it. So what you want to have is you want to have pop, things that will pop out. So I took this out. And then, so we're thinking about type right now. We're thinking about the ideas and the type. So I did print it out, but I will show you this when we get to that stage. But so those are like blocks of type that you would use with, specifically Carlin stuff. If you pick out like a specific word, it's good to have like eye-catching word that's something intriguing anyway. So just think about that as you're coming up with your idea, like heading words out of the blocks of type. Okay, so now when we have our concept, which is private property, abolish capitalism, abolish. I really like that word abolish. So I'm thinking about that word as one of my keywords. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to share another screen with you. Now we're going to think about images. Okay, so for images, I just go to Google search. So I think about, okay, so let's see. I put in 1950s America culture, and things come up like some of these, but actually I put in, it's on another tab. I don't want to. Communist art, communist in America, 1950s. So this is some cool imagery here. So what I did from this, I can't show. So what I did is I just opened up I made another Google Docs page and I just started dragging and dropping images into it that I like from whatever Google thing. So why I'm going back into like the 50s, the 30s, for imagery is because that way you know it's not copyrighted. You know it's like historical, you know, vintagey stuff. I think the rule back when I was doing text, I think it was 70 years the copyright expires or something, or it becomes public domain. If you know, so but what we're going to do is we're going to cut things up a lot. So, you know, you don't really have to worry about that so much. But obviously don't like take another work that's from an artist. But these old ads are great place to look. And I will show you the hitting this screen. Where is that? Oh, here we go. All right. So I did the same thing with these images. So I dragged those over from different searches where I was looking at 50s cheesy stuff. And then I found all of this like type, like sometimes even just type is good to rip up and have it be like mysterious. Like people go, what does that say? You kind of, if it says something cool, and look at this. Like I found some, you know, McCarthy era. And then there's even like horror movies. So I liked that. So, so what I did here was I edited it, right? So I dragged the picture over. And so a lot of it gives these zines that super graphic quality, like a regular black and white old photo, you know, might look kind of mushy, not enough contrast. So we want to pump up the contrast. So I did it there. I did it here. You can see, and I was going to show you. I don't know if you guys, because I imagine everyone's going to be dragging things into whatever app they're using. I used to do Photoshop, but really what I'm doing, so you can drag them in and, you know, create folders or whatever. I will show you when I share my screen. Or can you see this if I hold this up? Can you see that on the little part? No.
It would probably be better if you stopped sharing your
Okay.
screen and had it with the big
Right.
video.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I get like different ideas in different categories. And so I'm going to leave the computer kind of adjustments up to the computer people because I'm assuming that you all kind of have a certain application but I was able to mess around with the just the contrast. And then, you know, if you pull it into even my printing software, if I print out this page, it will let me adjust the colors even further so I can make it super contrasty, which really gives it a cool look. I just like all these like. So I guess what the theme I'm kind of getting at is, you know, we used to, you know, we want to feel good about where we are in the world, or I don't know, have goals and live we want to have control of our own lives. God damn it. Sorry. So I was thinking of that. That's what makes me think of 50s. And the look of a lot of the 50s things are just the kitschy look is kind of cool too, you know? But you know, you couldn't just do this because this is something that somebody already did. So you'd want to like say, okay, maybe I'm going to take the church and the people part and cut that off and then mix it with something else, like another kind of, you know, scary communist looking thing, big Lenin looming over them or something. So that's that. So that's how I get my images. So now I can kind of go back to showing you how I actually do it. I don't have, let me see if I have any more interesting things. Yeah, I had a few more windows open about, oh, here's a good one. Here's more Raymond Pettibone. I really think like this vibe, like you guys look at this. So okay, so Raymond Pettibone started out doing this stuff like this with this weird, like if you read it, it's like, so now he does like these kind of paintings. He makes, okay, he's got into surfing, blah, 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 whatever he's doing, but he's selling in galleries for like thousands of dollars now. Do you recognize this, anybody? our friend Jim, who's friends with Angela. Okay, so that's I know I'm going to quit sharing my screen now, but I do encourage you to really poke around with different, you know, Google searches for communists. Another way to find cool images that I did. Okay, I'll show you. Just show you some stuff. What I would do is I would take a screenshot from a film. Like I watched a documentary film on the Russian Revolution, and I just like took a screenshot. So it's like kind of blurry. It's kind of, I mean, I have some really good ones of here. Wait, there's this good one. Oh, this one. Here we go. And so then what I did, it was in black and white, and then I just tinted it in, one of my apps, one of my programs. But to get a lot of historical, kind of scary photos of the dystopian world, found this guy. I think it's Kerensky. He was that. I'm not going to go into like here, but it's always good to throw in. I don't know. You could whatever. You can make it look as if it is for. So our market, niche market. That was important. That's an important thing with the zines. Who you're trying to grab the attention of, who you think the fans are going to be, what's going to attract them. So that's why we're kind of focusing on this kind of edgy subculture look, because we are in this stage, and our target market is the left, because that's where we're going to put them. So college campuses, think of where all the young people hang out, where you've seen other kinds of posters, stuff like that. So just kind of, that's where we want to like fit in. We're kind of like thinking of the end result of, is it going to blend in with the other stuff there? Is it going to, what are the themes that are say at a place that you would put them, so that's just something to think about, because you're always thinking, well, about the market. Who do you want to get reading this thing or looking at it, and go into the QR code? So that's the important thing about, I forgot to mention when we were back on Carlin's pages, that is really important, because that is where the QR code that we're going to create will go to. So everything's always going back to that. So you want it to have pieces of that will relate to that, but that's where the QRs will come. We'll talk about how to create QR codes later. Oh, and so this is what I want to mention. This is what they call ransom note typeface. And I just pulled this off, Google, whatever, print it out, cut it up. So there's a bunch of fonts that are like punk fonts you might search for, ransom note lettering. This is the classic punk rock look of zines, like where you just like piece together words. So that's something to think about as you're getting your type together, but we'll go back to images. Okay. Back to images. All right. We got the type. So what I wanted to show you guys, I don't know if you can see this, but you can see I have folders upon folders, right? So as I like print out this stuff and I'm like, I might not decide to use it, I make folders of like a theme. So this one is for gender queer, right? And so I put so this was the one that I already did on gender queer. I just put that in. Getting like a weird glare here. Yeah. There we go. So you can see I did some writing into this one, handwritten. You can see where I made the bold. Is this backwards? I thought I did the mirror.
No, you can. It looks normal to us.
Okay, good. Okay. Yeah. So this was going to be like a folded flyer, right? So they can look at this side. So you can see I had like some vintagey stuff, some drawy stuff, symbolism. And I don't really have much writing over here, but I always have to leave room for the QR code, right? So this one's very image heavy, has some type, but I really had to fit in all the genders. So this side has more type. So I see that this very doodly, because that's kind of my style. Um, so I have these folders, but that's the ground. So I'll just start putting in like this is like bodies, right? Oh wait, I can't see it. So this is genderqueer. So I found all these little symbols. Here's our famous non-binary man. Here's another interesting imagery is in like old medieval stuff. Really weird stuff in medieval and girly pictures, like vintage pinups. So things that I thought related to that topic, like girly girl, manly man. I did some weird drawing. I just throw it in this folder. Sexy girl, I could put some weird head on her. So just to give you an idea of how I kind of organize stuff, and it's just fun to like spread it all out, like I don't know, that's half the fun of it. And then ripping the paper because I have to rip paper. But I have one on whiteness capitalism. Whiteness equals capitalism. And so I was just kind of thinking of, I don't know, Americana. I didn't get very far with that one. But I did type out this. Carlin, do you recognize this? So this was Carlin's cheat sheet on whiteness meets capitalism. So I can cut
My
out
very
these
boring cheat sheet that you're going to make look much better.
Right. So all I'm saving this for is I would cut out parts of it, just like put a little string of type and, it would be kind of cryptic, So this had to have the rainbow. So anyway, type all kinds of stuff, but keeping it in different themes. So that when you come back to it, this was kind of an individual and liberty one. At some point, we're not focusing on that now, but at some point, I kind of wanted to explore the flip side, like people could create things that for their friends and family that might be conservative, that aren't going to necessarily be attracted to the punk rock look. So we'll address that later. But I was thinking about that with like revolutionary, 1776. I don't know. So I just come up with an idea so I don't forget it. And this is the favored zombie, so I put this one in there. I did the zombie zine, a multi-page from Lisa did they did these limericks in the writers group. And so I did a zine that was zombie themes as per the writer's request. And that turned into this. So this isn't in the page order, but these are the two parts of it. So this was, you can see I did the limerick over here because it was in a book, right? So that would be one page, and then the opposite page would be that. So I did more. That was the cover. You can see how complicated these booklets get, right? Like this is the back cover, and then this was the zombie themed one that came out of the limericks. So just kind of words, the concept, the ideas, and the images. It's like there's a couple ways of looking at it. Like the song we heard in the beginning, kind of that irony, of that snarky irony. Like it's juxtaposition is kind of a theme. That's really, I think, very kind of the times. Doesn't have to be, but that's part of my thinking of why the 50s and the revolution stuff. So anyway, so I wanted to show you my little categories. Then, oh gosh, you guys, hold on one sec. Carlin, just talk for a second. Brian, open these windows.
Hey, no problem. Hey, and I just want to emphasize something that Allison just kind of pointed out, which is again, if you aren't comfortable doing the artistic piece yet, but maybe you like writing things, maybe you like putting ideas together, it can be really easy to team up with someone in the community. And we saw with the zombie piece, which the zombie one is honestly one of my favorite ones. I think it's so flipping cool. That was a poem that was put together by Bot. And then Allison made it into a zine. And so that's totally, if you're looking for that type of collaboration, that's absolutely available.
Yes, definitely. Oh, I forgot the most important folder of all. Red, chaos, authoritarian. So anything I find that, this is an old doodle from a sketchbook I had years ago. Just all kinds of stuff. Some more of these screenshots from documentary films. I used the Trotsky eye in something. So you can see it's just slapping stuff together, but it all never lose sight of your initial concept, because so I'm have to keep thinking as I'm looking at images, private property, abolish private property, capitalism in general. So I guess I will show you what images I have collected, because I do need some help editing. So let's see. So I'm not going to get to my materials yet. So I just love that. I love this Invasion USA. I'm thinking because it's about home ownership. So I've got to get this in here somehow. So being controlled. So I always end up with way too much stuff, right? So I just make a pile of what I think might kind of help show my concept and my idea. Some things might just be for texture and look. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also have other folders that are only textures. So I'll keep a bunch of textures around. And so, but most of the basic zines were done with black and white. So, I might use this, and I might, use some of this. I like the rip torn edges. I think it looks cool. I might use this as like part of a background. See, I have this ground here. I just picked it's a piece of paper. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, wait. So also in the Discord, I want to show you guys, because I put these as things that you guys can print out and actually use, or drag it into your program or whatever that you're going to do. And it is Discord. Where'd it go? Where'd my Discord go? Discord, where'd it go? Oh, wait. I don't see it. Jeez. I don't like the way they're doing this, Windows. Okay. Let's see this window. Sorry, you guys. Do you see my screen now?
Yes, we see the black flag picture.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good. Now I'm on the right thing here. Okay. Because I wanted to go back into the Discord and show you guys where I have put in a bunch of different grounds that you can use, along with the images you can use. Go back. Okay. Okay, images to use. So this is a category that you can have access to in the Discord that you can use. So I started out with, I did put some type in there. There's a lot of communist stuff in there that I've already got for you. Oh, look, there's the intersectionality wheel. I think this could be copyrighted. I wouldn't use the whole thing. Someone made that. Okay, where is it? So I kind of explain a little. Where are the grounds I did? Oh, here's some of the type. You can get that. Oh, these are some good headlines I got for Carlin's themes. Oh, here's some weirdy medieval stuff. Oh, here we go. Okay, so these are grounds, what I call a ground. So this is like part of a painting I did. So, you could just like do some writing over it, or, you can do whatever over it. You can use it however you want. You can cut it up just for a piece of texture. You can rip it for texture. Wait, that didn't go very far. Okay, here's more. It'll give you a hand look a little bit, just like some abstract stuff. just kind of textures. Here's another one. And you can, play with the colors. So it's just like a smeary texture. Not very good. So you get the idea. There's a lot of stuff in Discord. So you can also use all these images, but see all these grounds. Here's where I got into the dystopian, the block housing and just cities in decay. That was like a cool theme. Oh, this was kind of interesting. I was kind of looking into that's kind of, I don't really know where that was going. Oh, but wait, here's this. I have a lot of plague doctors. So here's some stuff that you could like. These are great. Cut these out. Oh, this was a lot of stuff that I used in this one. This one. Oh wait, can you see it? Okay, I'll show it to you in a sec. Anyway, so you can see there's a lot of stuff. Shay. I had this funny idea, you guys. I thought, what if Shay was like half the face in this graphic style, like Taylor Swift or something? Like that's my sense of humor about it all,
I was
right?
just thinking the same thing. I was like, what if we made it a like a half woman and it'd be
Yeah,
non-binary
yeah,
and like, yeah, I'm
right.
following.
Yeah. But these are always good. Look, we've got the girl. And this was a little section where I was thinking of the Americana that might appeal, like, you can use it in juxtaposition to like scary social stuff, or you could use it, as Americana and something. I don't know. I don't know yet about that, but that's a different direction. You could mix this in as the juxtaposition. Here's some Mao stuff. I think this is where Gala was working from, these Mao ones with the ones that she did with LK. Some of these vintage Maui ones. Okay. So stop sharing. So we're going to start my thing right on schedule here. Okay. Stop sharing screen. And I'm going to rip and cut and edit.
Hey,
So
Allison,
probably,
would
yeah,
now be a good time if you're gonna transition into actually showing how, like, your process. Do you mind taking a couple
yeah,
questions first? Because
sure. Good
we've had,
idea.
like, 3 questions come in, so I think it's, like, a manageable thing to take right now. So, Eugene wanted to know if it was possible to get an updated Discord link. Eugene, you were looking at the wrong, you need to go to the September 9th newsletter, and that should have the most current link, and that's gonna be the one to the furthest top on the page, but I understand why that can be a little bit confusing. So that's good. Let's see. Janet says, probably an obvious question, but I assume the stickers are standard size. Is that correct? I think you're talking about the stickers on the Unwoke Underground website. And so what I would do, Janet, is I would actually just print it off these sticker sheets on like a normal piece of paper and try them out and see, because I'm not sure they were made by people in the community, so I cannot guarantee that they're going to be a standard sticker size. So I would just print them out and see what size they print out at. And it's also something that you can actually take those images and edit them and make the image bigger or smaller on your computer when you're doing the sticker sheets. But I understand the concern there. I just can't guarantee what size they are because I don't know. Mary says, and Mary, Allison, this is a good question for you. Mary
Okay.
says, are there any pictures or print you are not allowed to use? How do you know what you are legally allowed to use?
Well, like I said, if it looks old and vintage, like historical photos, vintage photographs, if it's from, say, okay, what would 70 years be from now? That would be the 50s. So if it's 50s or older, and if it's like you're only using a part of things, right? So you're not using like the whole piece of something. So just try to hide it, flip it around, make it different, change the color, change the contrast, but definitely don't use other artists' work or graphic designers. Like don't put in punk zine graphics and then use parts from those things, because those are things someone else made, right? So you want to get original imagery that, kind of relates to the theme you're talking about. Or, like I said before, you can really just work with textures and nondescript things that, would not be copyrighted. Like this is like clip art stuff. Um, just the textures like that. Um, does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
if
and
you look at some more, it doesn't even have to have like imagery. It can just have textures and type. And you can just play around with like type placement, doing this kind of thing, you
yeah.
know?
And if I could jump in there too, and I'm certainly not
Sure.
advising anyone to break the law or anything. I'm not saying we should do that, but we are doing this for non-commercial purposes. I
Yes,
mean,
and that's exactly it. Yeah.
yeah, and so it is a little bit of a different thing. Also, it's one of those things where I think this might be actually a really good use of AI. First of all, I love the idea of using vintage images. I just think it's cool. It has a quality about it. It instantly is going to give your zine kind of a look that I think is a really kind of cool idea. But we also have AI art available to us, and AI art, you can tell it to look like anything you want it to look like. You can tell it a specific art style. You can, you can tell it anything. And so there's also an opportunity if you're just not finding something you want, just create it in AI, and then you could draw over it or like whatever you want to do. Maybe you even just use the AI for inspiration. I think there's a lot you can do there. Let me see. Eugene says, is quantity or quality preferred? So what I would say is that I would probably prefer quality over quantity. But you also, when you're first learning how to do it, you might just want to play around and make a whole bunch of stuff. And I would say follow your bliss, Eugene, and you make what you make. This isn't a contest to see who can make the most. Allison, do you have thoughts about that?
Yeah. Um, when you say quality, it's almost antithetical to what a zine is, right?
Yeah, fair point.
Right? Like it's not, so quality meaning it's thoughtful, it makes sense. The QR codes work. It's serving its purpose for what it is. But as far as like for our purposes of just getting ideas out there, um, I wouldn't labor. I just don't want people to get very like it doesn't look good, because it doesn't matter really. I mean, I do have a design sense, which I'll kind of like, I learned in art school. I was trained as an illustrator. And so, I'll share these things as I go along. So you can see that, okay, okay, I've got my basic stuff I'm going to use kind of spread out around me, like you would have your folder, your little images open on your desktop or however you're doing it. And I've edited it down a little bit. I think I'm going to keep it black and white. So not too much color because I want this to pop. But where'd my girl go? I had the girl that was hugging the star. Anyway, she'll turn up. um, so I always get I even have more. I mean, see, I have this whole other pile up here of stuff that I thought would go with it. But so as you can see, if I wanted to use this, it's going to take up the whole thing. It's like so big, right? So I probably run over to my copier and reduce it 50%, but I'm not going to do that. So I'll just use something else instead. But see, that's kind of how I would do it, and then maybe in the printer, I would pump up the contrast even more so you could barely see what it is. Maybe I can make it work with, having it come in down here and, we'll put stuff over it, right? A lot of times I'll start out with these grounds or whatever as a background. And I end up covering up the whole thing. So, or most of it. I think the visual interest, I tend to do things very busy and layered and all that. So I'll try to refrain from doing too much of that. What do you think about that? Is that liberties? So here I'm getting off my track. This is good because it's like this is a great image of the flag burning and that, you could maybe put some different things behind it, but it's getting a little bit away from the property idea of the private property. And, this, now that I'm really trying to narrow down my idea of the private property, abolish private property, this really kind of doesn't quite go. So I'll set it aside. I don't know. Because that
See,
one would,
can I argue with you, Allison? Can I give you some back and
yes.
forth? I love the
Okay.
idea of Invasion USA because, part of the
It's
reason
invading.
yeah, I like that because it's like
Okay.
you're saying that migrants are invading the USA, and part of the reason that the
Yes.
property issue is such a problem is because they're taking up all the flipping property.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, see? You see, it does relate. But see, that's the thing with all the concept. You kind of have to think it through, like, oh, it is making sense. So maybe we can, I don't know if we want to be like overt about, um, yeah, and I feel invaded as a property owner. If they're going
Yeah,
to invade,
and
yeah.
remember, they think that borders the left thinks that borders are the enforcement mechanism of capitalism because borders literally enforce private property, so, I don't know. I'll shut up, I just had that thought.
Right. No, it's great. No, I was hoping you would have comments and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like seeing, well, how can I shave this down and make it more so the house is being ripped? Oh, but I don't want to cut out the little boy. Okay. So getting it a little smaller because I know I can put stuff over it at any time. So I'm gonna just kind of tuck them in like that. So I also thought about this map. Maybe I'll rip it. Oh, okay. I got it. Here we go. This might suggest immigration. Right? Like the USA, the world is all, well, they're not coming over. Okay, so that factory closed. That's a 50s image. So I really like this little thing. So I'm just going to take this teeny tiny little guy. And so this is called an X-Acto knife that I am using here. It's not very sharp at the moment. But I always have, say you're doing it by hand. I know I get the feeling that not a lot of you will, but I have like a board, just like a thick piece of board. So I can just not worry about hurting anything I'm working on. It's just I cut right on it.
Allison, Janet in the chat says, "Maybe
Yeah.
put the Invasion USA on a diagonal under the woman between the top image and the house."
Oh, I see. The type. Yeah. Like this, like that.
Yeah, I think that's what she's talking about.
Yeah, that is better. See, and I like when things kind of bleed off the edge. I'm like, do I want to have that army guy? Like, it could be like army coming. I do like these, the United States here, South America. Here we go. So okay, so see, you can see I just start placing things around, right? Um, and then I'm gonna squeeze this over here. I guess little boy might have to go. He can't fit anymore. Okay. So see, this is like a design thing. So I'll just like talk about my design ideas as they come up. Like this is just cutting it too much, and this diagonal is nice. So I think if I do this and make it echoing that diagonal a little bit. So, but no one really looks at that. But what I learned in art school is that design is important in the way you want someone's eye to flow around it. Like what's going to be the attention grabbing thing. So I've decided that I want to use something to pop, right? So the only other color that I'm going to use on this is red. So I got to have room for my type. So you can kind of see I'm jumping all over here, kind of just not forgetting that I have type to put. I've got, this texture, got a little too much. As I'm editing out, I just throw it to the side. Let's see this might be good for another diagonal feeling. you know. And then I want to start getting into the important words. Okay, just putting all the scraps on the floor. Like this is the headline, so to speak. Abolish private property. So, uh, so maybe I think I want to do the word abolish in this and cut out letters like this. So I'm putting that there to remind me that's what I want to. So invasion USA, abolish private property. So you don't have to decide where everything's going to be right away. I do take a lot of time with this kind of moving things around, and you don't want someone to come over and sneeze and all blow away like the Woody Allen. Okay, we decided not to use that. Something about the wall. Wall. Look, it's kind of relating. Okay, so I want to get a lot more of this. Okay, so I'm going to start cutting out blocks of type, and I'm using just the X-Acto because, or you could use scissors. Oh, by the way, this is the whole pile of supplies here. uh, these are extras. So I have an X-Acto knife, scissors somewhere, and Sharpie, whiteout, glue sticks, a crayon maybe, just in case I want to make it scribbly. And then maybe a red marker for accent. We'll see. But I was trying to keep it limited, because I have a whole box of different markers and things. But basically, that's all you need. The glue stick, scissors, and X-Acto. Okay, so here we go. State ownership. I think I might edit down state ownership. So I'm going to cut it smaller. Does that have anything to do with it? This guy? He's holding up people on a tray. The guy's falling off.
Well, I mean, so the
Kind of
whole
like the
idea
economy.
the whole
Control, master.
Yeah, it could also be though, but you might also wanna save that because that could be a great one for, like, a whiteness is capitalism one because
Right.
whiteness is
Yep.
capitalism references the ownership of people as private property.
Oh, yes, the people. Right. Okay, perfect. Okay. So I could put that in the whiteness, my little folder, right? So as I start fleshing out ideas for later, that's why I have those folders going. So I'll get, so I just can kind of gather as I go. So it's kind of coming together. Put something here. So I think because we really like this and the invasion part, I'm going to glue. I will show you guys my gluing technique. Because then I can start layering. So you start thinking of like what's going to be the lower layer. So what I do for gluing is I have like a little stack of like scrap paper. And then I just do it right on here because this glue starts to get really annoying. That's the fun of it. It's all over your hands. And then you have like this kind of gluey paper, and you just get rid of it, and then you have a new one. So here we go. Sticky, sticky. I'm going to make it hang off a little bit here. All right. Okay. There. And then this one. All right. This will be layer here. So basically, you're putting down like the bigger pieces first. And always thinking of, well, I got to leave room for my type or what's it going to be over. Of course, mine is going to be like super super busy. So I'm gonna just slap this one on there. What am I doing on time?
It's
I'd say
about 10:05 my
it's
time.
what?
It's, we're a little over an hour in.
Okay, I can finish this in an hour, but I will shoot for half an hour. How's that? But this should not take me any longer than an hour.
I think this is really helpful for people to see the process, though. I know I'm actually
Yeah,
learning a lot. I like
yeah.
seeing it kinda come together.
So, I mean, if you're a computer person, you can imagine, like, you've got your selector tool, which is like me ripping and cutting. You've got your, place layering. We can do it however you want. So this, this. Oh, look, this could come into this. There we go. This the block housing, the awful apartments need to be there because I want to show like this is what is nice and this might not be so nice. There's tons of pictures of these on Google. Really cool, just rows and rows of dismal looking. Okay, here's another trick. So see, I've decided I want to have that come over, but I want this little girl. Can you guys see the little girl? I want her to look like she is coming over that, right? So I'm just going to cut this like this, really rough, and just kind of make it like that. There. Maybe I'll put this piece right here. Another thing in design is if you do like a piece of something, it's always good to like, if it's a color or a texture, it's good to put it in like a couple places. They say threes are like a good design thing. Gotta have my urgent. Should we go the opposite diagonal maybe? You guys can see very well here. Maybe I'll have this go urgent like that. Urgent. Let's see. I don't know about that yet. Okay. Like I said, don't labor on it. Like, don't get like married to one little thing you got to put in there, except maybe a couple things, but you might change your mind, right? So I think we need a little chaos right now. So I'm going to get the Sharpie out and get some chaos going here. Um, I always do the same kind of doodly looking things. Actually, I want this to be black here. So this is what the Sharpie's good for, right? Like you just kind of embellish when you want things to pop. So I kind of like where that is. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it real quick because I don't want to lose it. And that's an important statement that we don't want to leave out the state ownership factor. Let's see, maybe I'll put it like that. Actually, this would look better if it was centered like that. There we go. So you can see I'm just kind of don't care if it's crooked. Got that on there. Oh yeah, this. Okay, there kind of gets to a point where it's just like it comes together really fast. It's just flowing out. Like you don't have to think about it really, right? It's kind of what looks good. I want to do that too here. Let's see, maybe like that. No, 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 here, might as well do okay over here. Okay, like that. See, little shapes like this too are good for like a background of a type thing. So I think I want to give this a little more detail with the ripping it. I like to do a mix of ripping and cutting, just because it gives it a little more maybe the feeling that private property. Careful with those X-Acto knives. When I worked at a textile design place, this girl cut off her end of her finger.
I personally am terrified of X-Acto knives.
Are you?
I was traumatized as a child. My father was a draftsperson, and he had a whole bunch of them. I feel like I was traumatized as a child.
Did you have the huge jar, the dull ones?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there was a whole
Yeah.
drafting table set up in our house because he worked, like, on stuff at home, and big jar of those things, and I was like I feel like I stuck myself with one.
Yeah. Okay, so this is important. So notice I went to go put this down here. I'm like, oh, you gotta leave. Even if your page is like a page, whatever is your overall size, you want to put like important stuff, like your wording, especially, and the QR code. I'm thinking the QR code will probably go right here. You want to put it a 1/4 inch at least in from the edge, just because sometimes printers are weird, and just to give yourself a little leeway there. So yeah, I really think you'll see once I put the punk lettering on it, the ransom note, it'll really have that feel. I don't, sometimes I debate, like, do I want to be so obvious, like, but I think, it needs that eye catching thing, like this is what it's about. Or maybe I just want a smaller one, or I don't know. I don't know. So for now, since what I do know is that I want to do abolish, I'm going to cut out abolish. Actually, I want to get like a some kind of ground thing to put it on. Makes it easier. Well, maybe I'll do some more brick wall stuff. Is that kind of so it's more recurring theme here. I think I'm going to put that kind of creates a good tension right there. Let's see. Giving a little bit of right angles happening to kind of counteract the diagonal. So as I do this, my fingers get kind of like sticky gluey. So what I do is I have a wet rag handy. I have a wet rag handy to wipe my fingers off, because you'll get to a point where it's like you have so much like glue residue on your fingers that it's like you can't do anything. You think it's all stuck. So I gotta go over here, my little rag, wipe my fingers off it. The damp rag that really helps. So you won't get annoyed as much. Okay, so that. Oh, it seems to be calling for it going up there too. See what I mean about like covering what was on the ground? It's like I can hardly even see it anymore. But I like this. Wall thing. All right, so I think we almost got enough like imagery type stuff for now. So she could be like, we could put some type up in here. These will be like type spots right there. Okay. All right. So that on here, that on here. You should see the floor right now. It's got papers all over. Okay. So we got an A. We got an A. We got a B. These make it easy. Like I remember, you'd have to go through magazines. But here they made a whole font for you, so you can just do it. I probably have more in here. more letters.
It's so easy to write a ransom note nowadays.
Right. Yes. It's even a font. You just
They
type it
used to
out.
have to work for it, and now they can just print it out.
Well, I know. There's so many different ones that I found too. Um, like here, I made some smaller. It's good to play with size. Like abolish, I want to have like red around it too. I want it to be. Oh, look, here's a good one. See, the magazine ones are better. Because then I can put some red in there, right on that white background. The more like you know, opposing or different the letters are, the better. You know, that like they don't match. That's like the sensibility, like, you know, something. Okay, I need an H. H. Anybody got an H? This part's actually like the really fun part to me. H's aren't satisfactory. All right, we'll just be very H. Ish. You can show you how this is kind of hard but easy, right? Tricky but easy. Like the computer people are all going, oh my god, I can't believe she's cutting it. O, I need an O. Where's an O? I like that. Oh, maybe one with a black background. I need to exchange my blade, Carlin. It's getting dull.
You
And I
know
have a
what?
little
It's all
bar.
part of the process. It's all part of
I
the process.
know my
Just
blade is
go with it.
getting dull.
And
And
that's
that's when
honestly
you
what
get
it
cut,
well,
is
yeah,
when it's
exactly.
dull.
But, you know, I honestly like seeing this because, like, what I'm seeing is that, you know, this might look really intimidating. People might see the images you make and be like, "I could never do something like that because it looks so cool." But you're demonstrating that this is not hard. Anyone
No.
can do this. You just gotta print out stuff and cut it out and play around with it and get some markers, get some crayons, get some glue, you're good.
Sorry, that was my husband. Go away, honey. Busy working. Usually I'd be out in my studio, but it's been so. Oh, I already got an O. L. We need an L. Oh, and we need another O. Oh no, an I. Yeah, right. Like that's interesting. I'm glad you said that, Carl, because I always think like, does it make it seem hard what I'm doing, or
Well, I'm sure it
is
doesn't
it
seem hard to you because you're a
right? Right. That's
professional
what
at
I
this,
mean.
but I know for myself, like, it's actually really interesting watching the process come together because I've never done something like this, and
Yeah.
so this for me is making it seem much more approachable, and I think what
Yeah.
people need to
Oh,
hear, and you've been
good.
saying this, is that it's like, this is not supposed to be perfect. It's really not supposed to be. It
Exactly.
defeats the point. You like, let it be
Yep.
raw. Like, I love that you're ripping stuff and just folding
Yeah.
stuff, and it's just like, that's what gives it that look.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, I mean, there's probably like glue on the edges of it, you know, it's just whatever. Um, okay, I need the perfect L. L. I want a big L. All right, and this is what always happens. I'll get obsessed on one letter. I can't find. That's just I see as I'm just saying, like, don't labor over it. And then I'm like, oh, that. Look at this one. This is like a really cool little font. Um, but their L is boring. That one's too. Oh, I always like these. Okay, here. Let's see. Oh, I need an I. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't have an I yet. Okay. It's funny when if you start doing it this way, you'll find like little piece of letter like somewhere in your house. Float around. Oh, look, there's an eye. There's that eye I was looking for. Okay, so I'm going to glue it. So I think I want to put it down here because this is my whole thing where I like want their eye to end up. Like so, I'm going to take them on like kind of a weird journey up here, just with random imagery, and I'm going to get serious down here. All right, just do it. Just do it. Okay. Okay. Remember the quarter-inch rule. Do using my left hand, you can't see it. B. O. L. I was going to do this before, but I thought, no, this is kind of like this is probably one of the more tedious parts. These little letters, but this is what makes it real. You got to make it real, make it look really messed up, right? All right, ish, ish, ish. Okay, almost not. Almost not this part. Okay, and we're gonna put. All right. Okay. So see, it doesn't look like much now. See how things are kind of blending in, and it's not really your eye isn't really being attracted to anywhere special yet. Um, all right, so I got that. Got that. Still don't know about that. Okay. Still gotta. Oh, we gotta have our little USA and the South America. Okay. California, Uber Alice.
I mean, this is one of those things too that I can imagine, having music playing while I'm doing
Yeah,
this and just kinda, like, getting lost in it,
yeah,
and, I think it's, like, it's just really good in terms of just, like, the process of it and, like, just, like, letting yourself be creative. That's part of the point. The point is not to be perfect, it's not to be matchy-matchy, it's just
right.
to make something cool. Um, Allison, while you're kinda doing that, do you mind if I take a couple of questions and we can kinda talk about
Yes,
them?
good idea. Good idea.
All right, so Philip in the chat just says, Carlin, is there any concern that if an individual comes upon the art and doesn't scan the QR code, they could misconstrue the zine as being in favor of the invasion and abolition of private property, or if someone didn't have their phone on them? I personally am not concerned about that because it's kind of like one of those things where, we're gonna reach the people that we're supposed to reach, and I think that I actually love it when people don't know what side I'm on because I kind of consider it to be a little bit of an IQ test if I'm honest about it. I think some of my best designs in my merch store are the ones where you could really look at it from both sides and it kind of confuses people. And I also think that that's kind of what gets people's attention if I'm honest. However, what I will say is that you can also decide how you do this. So you don't have to do something that's ambiguous. You really don't. And there's some of the zines that are just like, I mean, they're real. There's some zines that Allison does and that the others do that have no words on them at all. There's some that only have like one word on them. There's some that only have a sentence. There's some that like, but you can also create zines where you could do a zine with an essay in it or just like a paragraph like explaining a concept. There are all sorts of different ways to do this. And so I think that I would say that you should feel comfortable with what you create. I personally don't mind being a little bit more ambiguous about it. Allison, do you have thoughts about that?
Um, yeah, like kind of going back to Jello Biafra, like he is he really making fun of Jerry Brown or is he or is he really, a Jerry Brown supporter? Like, because you would think he would be, because he was left on the left, but he's 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 bashing the woke, right? So who knows where that falls? So
Yeah. And one of the things that, and we've actually talked about this, one of the things that I would actually love to happen is if this thing like ends up in like a coffee store or something, or like some radical revolutionary bookstore, and the leftist looking at it thinks it's about them, and then they scan the
exactly,
QR code and they get all pissed off, and then they post about it and they get really upset about it. That would be my absolute dream if we could
yeah,
make that happen. And I think it's like you have to use a little bit of like trickery and tomfoolery in order to make that happen.
yep, that was exactly it. Because that was the one with the queer one. Because the cover just looks
Yeah.
like, oh, queer 101. Oh, let's learn more about queer.
Yeah, let's learn more about queer. And then all of a sudden they're on a website saying queer is a far left political ideology and it's dangerous and you should really cut that shit out.
Yep.
Which honestly, like, I would also like to make like actually specific landing pages for these things. Like if we're getting really fancy about it, and they don't have to be like super in depth and complicated. It could really just be, "Hi, you've come here to learn about queer. Here's some information for you." And I think that's something we can utilize, just like the articles that I've written, or we can put like video links on there or whatever, and make it actually specific to the topic. I think that that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be. That is a really good question because I'm always thinking about that. Like, am I getting too far off, getting that balance, or where is it going to lead? Like, I think if someone was really communist, or I don't know, if someone was really wanted to abolish private property, so serious, I don't know if they would put like invasion USA, right? Like it wouldn't be an
Right.
invasion. I think that's our key word there. Invasion. We feel invaded, right? By state ownership that's abolishing private property. But I want to put some more detail of these little paragraphs of like private businesses. Control business. Okay, we just want to get that. See, so I had all these blocks of type, but then I'm realizing it's kind of like the this one, the octopus one, that I just did. There wasn't really anything that it is kind of both, you know what I mean? But here's a clue: equity is coded. Like, would they say that about abolishing capitalism? Like, you don't quite know. But I wanted to point out your business, what private property means. So parental rights is important. This one. This is taking me longer than I thought, but I'm almost done. Yeah.
That's all right. I think this is really cool for people.
Oh, good. Okay.
And if people don't like it on the recording, they can fast forward, and that's just the way it goes.
Right.
I'm
That's
actually
true. That's true.
enjoying
Okay.
it.
So, yeah, see how I like these little pops of red, right? Maybe even some of these, like this, landlords as oppressors, right? Like that's kind of good. So I'm just taking like parts of your words here, but they're the key points, right?
And I really like how you use the Sharpie to kind of like draw over on top of the images to make it pop out even more. Because like a
Yeah,
thick
and
black line will just make everything pop.
right, and I mean it adds to like I don't know why I call it feeble, but it's like I wasn't trying to be perfect. You know what I mean? Just and that is the look of like the Sharpie thing, just kind of where did that go? Oppressors. Maybe that would be a good word, oppressor, to make bigger.
And so that might be something that people could like create an AI art thing and print it off and then draw over on top of it. So you're not relegated just to using the thing you created in AI. You can transform it into something new.
So for some reason, I'm thinking of relating oppressors to these people because they want their own house. So I'm just going to put that there because they're oppressors. What other ownership of children similar to slavery? Ooh. Similar to slave ownership. So we could put that over the little girl there. So I would imagine if it really was like leftist propaganda, I don't think they would put that ownership of children similar to slave ownership. They wouldn't put that,
Yeah.
right?
Again, I wouldn't even worry about it, like, are people gonna mistake this as leftist
Yeah, no, I
propaganda?
don't think
Well,
they
it's like,
will.
no,
Yeah,
I think it's
I think that is. You're right. It is half the fun. Imagine them getting like, what?
yeah, feature, not bug.
Right. So when I kept thinking to myself, like, you know, if one like cool kid who's on the verge of like getting swept up and not thinking, who knows? Like they might just kind of see. You never know. If it just kind of gets one person to think twice, that's a good thing, right? Oh, I know. See, this is just it's in the moment here because I'm not getting ideas as I'm going along. Um, because I just got this cool idea. I just ripped it because my fingers were too sticky. This is just calling to me here. Maybe I need a smaller one. So I go back to my little folder that has all my red because I know I have lots of little stars and things in here. Maybe this would be good because it's kind of subtle. This was from, I don't think this was a screenshot. This one was a really cool film. They did all these like montages, and I'd catch it like when it was going from one scene to the next, and it came out. They came out really cool. I suggest everyone try that. It's very fun. And those would be like old, historical images. State ownership. See, like this isn't quite so obvious, but the star. I don't know. It looks like a Christmas tree star. I don't like it. But I know I have the perfect one. I know it. I know I have the perfect one. Or how about a hammer and sickle? Yeah, I think that's what I need. Communista. Okay. I keep forgetting that you guys are even there. Oh yeah, there's people.
Hey, that's part of the fun.
I know it is.
Yeah. We did just hit, at 90 minutes, Allison, so how much longer do you
Okay.
and you it looks like
All
you're
right.
almost
I think
there,
I'm
honestly.
done almost. I'm almost done here. I'm going to do my embellishing. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the factory closed guy. Maybe he can go. This window, there, and right there. We don't need Africa. We don't need that. We don't need this. Okay. Glue that one down. All right. So now I'm going to do like the embellishing pop color. So I'll show you how I use like a whiteout pen. Uh-oh. The,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we just lost Allison. Well, we're gonna I think she's still here. Allison, if you can hear me, we lost your video, we lost your camera. I hope it comes back. Yeah, it went black. Can you guys hear? You guys can hear me though, right? Can you confirm in the chat that you can hear me? We're just experiencing some minor technical difficulties. Maybe Allison hit her phone. Maybe can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay, you can hear me. Okay. So we'll just give Allison a minute to come back, but I'm definitely learning a lot from this and I hope you guys are too. And again, I think that this is just awesome and I'm just going to put up the presentation. The battery went out. Okay, so we're just going to give her a minute and hopefully she makes it back in. But even if she didn't, I feel like, we've already learned a lot tonight. And is this the yep, there we go. We've already learned a lot tonight and it's like for me watching the process of it coming together was just really 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 cool and I hope it was cool for you guys as well. And I think I saw a question in the chat from Mary. Mary says, "What apps do you use to help with the pictures, download, crop, enlarge, create, etc.?" So, Allison can certainly answer this, Mary, and if she doesn't come back, I'm sure you guys can connect in the community. But I would say that so it looks like she's using Google Apps. So it looks like that's something that's part of her process is just basically cutting and pasting into Google. It looks like she's using Google to find images and then putting it in like a document and just printing it out. So super low tech. I will say that when I'm manipulating documents or like images now, I do tend to use Canva. There was a time when I used Photoshop or Adobe Creative Suite, and I know that I heard someone mention earlier today asking about Adobe Creative Suite. I personally don't use that anymore just because Canva has gotten so good for me that it basically does everything I need. But if you want to use Adobe Creative Suite, if you want to do this digitally, of course you can do that. And that's the thing. It's like, again, there doesn't need to be a specific way of doing this. Everyone can do it in the way that you want to. Yeah, you can bring pictures into Canva, you can remove the background if you want to do that. You don't have to do that. There's a eraser function. It's gotten actually really really good. And so I definitely recommend people do that. And let me just pop into Discord real quick and I will see if Allison has messaged me on there or anything like that. I hope she comes back to us. I don't see her yet, but that's okay. We will give her a couple more minutes here, guys, because sometimes it just takes a minute to plug things in. And I would love to know how much you like I would love to know like what you guys think about this in the chat. So do you guys have any comments kind of while we're waiting? Maria says very helpful. It's demystifying the process and making it feel accessible. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like when I first saw this stuff from Allison, I was like, I can't ever do that. Like that's way too complex. Like I can paint, but it takes me a long time. I can't really draw. Like I can't like I'm sure like you, like I'm really kind of like intimidated by it a little bit. But just seeing the process of like all you have to do is go find images that inspire you and you print them out and you cut them out and you place them around and stuff like that. I think it really makes it like the way she's showing it, it makes it anyone can do this. You could even do this with what I mean, honestly, like what a great way to teach teenagers about this stuff. If you've got kids in school that are maybe I'm not saying do them with okay, Allison said her computer died. She's back. All right, Allison, please feel free to take the reins back from me. But what I will say is like, what a great way to teach teenagers about this stuff. Like some of you probably have kids in school and maybe not younger kids, but maybe older ones they're getting into high school or things like that. Like a really nice project to kind of teach them about like what is all this communist stuff that they're teaching you in school? What does this really mean? And let's have a conversation. Let's do something creative. Um, kids used to get taught about communism in schools and they no longer get taught about communism in schools because of course they want to use the schools to make them communists. And so I think that that could actually be a really fun idea. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the different designs that people make. I think it's going to be really cool to see what comes out of this. There's already just been so much cool stuff that has been made. And I just think, one of the ideas we talked about today on the stream was what if we worked as a community with a whole bunch of people involved and we put out one Unwoke Underground zine a month and we just put it out there and like we make the digital copy available to download. We set up some way for people to get a print copy if they want because that's another thing that we learned today is like these zines kind of become like collector items. If like you do like a limited edition print run of maybe like, 100 copies or so, that could become like a collector's item for people because they got one of the 100 like printed copies, and maybe you could have some sort of little special emblem on the printed copy so it was like one of the original printed copies or things like that, because people like to collect stuff like this, and especially if it looks cool, that could be something that would people like. I think mostly, and I'm still waiting for Allison to come back in and kind of take control back from me. So whenever Allison arrives, she is welcome to have control back. But I think one of the things that I love about the zine project is that it's cool. It's culture. It's something different. And it looks like Allison is back and she might be taking back control from me. Allison, are you there? We can't see you or hear you, so are you there? Uh-oh. Why did my screen stop sharing? Oh no, everything is going awry. Oh no. Everything is going awry. There we go. That screen share is back. Um No, but I love the idea. I love that this is about doing something that is interesting and different and stuff like that. Let's see. Someone asked, how much does Canva cost? Yeah, there is a free version of Canva. I think I do actually have the paid version of Canva. I think it's like $240 a year or something like that. So a little, it's got a price tag on it. For me, it's well worth it. I do so much in Canva that it's definitely worth it. Philip says, would you recommend putting any website or contact info or links besides a QR code, or maybe a QR code linking to a yeah, so what I like about QR codes and what's kind of cool is that there are QR code generators that allow you to do really differently designed QR codes. And so Allison's kind of got like the standard QR codes on here, but I made QR codes and I put some up in the community, but like you can do these like really kind of like designer QR codes that I think just look like really cool on their own. So I think that's part of the benefit of a QR code over like a website, in that you can make it just look cool. You can make it a design feature, right? But I do think like maybe sometimes maybe you want to put the website on there. Maybe we want to just do like I've thought about doing just like a plain old kind of like Unwoke Underground like thing where it has a giant QR code that's like beautifully designed in the middle of it, and then maybe the website underneath if people just want to go right to the website and make a whole bunch of stickers and just start sticking them around. Um, I feel like Allison is trying to take control back, and because my she keeps stop sharing my screen, which is fine. Which oh no, it's back. All right. I don't know what's going on. Um, so I think like that's but and again, Philip, I think that this is one of those things where it's like try it out, do whatever you want, and we can come up with different like strategies for this too. Like I said, maybe we can create a landing page for this stuff that's just specific to like that QR code, and then we slap that QR code on a whole bunch of things, and then they go directly to a landing page that is corresponding to the whatever they have picked up. Jennifer says, if anyone has Adobe stuff and needs help with Photoshop, Illustrator, or InDesign, I'm well versed in them and can help guide you around. We can do some screen share stuff in Discord. That's awesome. Yeah, I do want to encourage everyone to use the tools available in Discord. You guys can utilize the voice chat. They're set up like the entire Zine project is a giant discussion group, so it's easy to find things and things like that. And I think Honest Dog Allison just rejoined. Allison, are you back? I think I saw her name turn a different color, which makes me believe she might be back. Uh-oh. Well, I guess not. I guess not. Hopefully she makes it. I'm going to keep it open just a little while longer, guys. So if you have questions or thoughts, please feel free to put them in the chat. And of course, we appreciate if Allison doesn't make it back. We do appreciate all the things that she's shown us tonight. I mean, she's just like, she's awesome. If you have not had the opportunity to meet Allison, I just like, she's so creative and she's such a sweet like woman. And, she's just like, she's really helped, people with this project, and she's really been a great steward of it. And I appreciate that. Chad says you can have a QR code go to one of Carlin's videos. Yeah, that's a good idea. If you're gonna have a QR code go to one of my videos, can I recommend not sending them to one of my videos where I'm yelling? I know I might be asking a lot. I know a lot of my videos are me yelling, but there are some videos that I make that are not me yelling, and maybe we could just be judicious about what videos we're sending people to. because I know you guys get it, but not everyone understands. Um, yeah, or we can make specific clips for things. Or if you guys have an idea and you're like, Carlin, I want a video on this topic, and now I'm doing these cell phone videos where I'm holding up my cell phone and talking into my phone for 10 minutes, and those are apparently performing better than any of my really good socialism videos ever did. And so, like, if you guys want a video about something, just tell me, like, Carlin, I need you to talk about queer something or other, and I'll be like, all right, I'll make a video about it. And that way you can have something that's ready made for what you're doing, which I think is cool. Yeah, we also have people, if you're looking for another way to get involved, we have people making clips now of my stuff. Reagan's been making clips, Bot's been making clips. Gayla, I think, Gayla, I think, wants to be involved in that as well. And, all sorts of ways you can get involved. And again, like, I want to make sure people know this. Like, I don't see this as an effort to like make me the star of the show or whatever. Like, I'm kind of like like I'm uncomfortable with being in this role, but I happen to be the person that's on camera. And I think one of the things that I really appreciate about this project is that it's not about me or making me like an internet celebrity or whatever. It's about getting the ideas out there and getting the information out there and getting more people engaged with this, because the thing of it is we are unfortunately are aligned with a side that doesn't care really, and it sucks to come to that realization. But I think most people in my community have come to that realization that no one is coming to save us. The conservative right is not coming to save us. Donald Trump is not coming to save us. You might be voting for Donald Trump in November, and that's certainly your decision, but Donald Trump doesn't understand this stuff. He's not coming to save us. Donald Trump doesn't have good advisors who are coming to save us. All they're interested in is putting out like clickbait content to make money and build a brand, and that's it. And I know that the people who find my content and really get embedded in this community, you guys actually care about solving the problem. I actually care about solving the problem. And so we have to do for ourselves, and we have to work to get this information out there. And again, I always ask, like, I think I'm the only person doing this type of content. I don't think anyone else is. If you guys know of anyone else that's doing it, please tell me. I would love to talk to them. So I'm not saying like patting myself on the back saying, "Oh, I'm the only one doing it." I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there is a significant lack of information in this area. And so when people go searching for this information, they don't find me right away, because I'm in the grand scheme of things a teeny tiny little person on the internet. I know I have a bigger platform than most people, but I'm a teeny tiny little person on the internet that you don't usually find until you start to get really wonky about this stuff. Most people are finding places like The Blaze, places like The Daily Wire, places like Steven Crowder, places like Tim Pool, places that are pretending to be anti-woke but really are just trying to build a brand online and make money, and that's it. And that might be their entry point to it. Or they're finding James Lindsay and they're getting lied to over and over and over again about what's going on, because his only goal right now is to make money with Moms for Liberty and Turning Point USA, and it's depressing and it sucks. But we need to bring more people into our little sphere. We need to help more people learn. We need to get this information out there. And I don't know any other way to do it other than to just be scrappy and be like a cool underdog about the whole thing. And Philip says Dr. Shiva says only bottom up change last will be long lasting, and that's part of the goal too. I don't care about impressing the influencers on Twitter. I want to reach normal people. I just don't know how to do that exactly. And so I think our best bet is to reach as many normal people as possible, and I think this is a way to do it. And it's just fun and it's cool and it feels good. And at least we're going to do something different. At least we're going to do something different. Christopher said, I went looking for answers and found James Lindsay, but he wasn't giving me answers, which is when I found you. And that is a very common story, Christopher. That is a very common story. And what I would really, really love is is to make it so that my content and the ideas are so ubiquitous out there that I am the first point people find, and maybe they learn not to trust Lindsay later. Allison, you're back. You made
Oh
it back.
my
We were
gosh.
so worried. We were so
I'm so
worried.
sorry, you guys. My
That's okay.
computer died and then I plugged it back in.
That's all right. We're just glad you made it back. We want to see the beautiful
Yeah, I felt
outcome.
bad. Oh, they're gonna think I just bailed on them.
No, we had a great chat. I answered some questions. We had a
Good.
good back and forth. So please go ahead.
Yeah, just to wrap up, so it's looking pretty messy.
I think it looks cool. I like the red pops.
Yeah, the red pops. I think
Mhm.
it needs a like more of a black area.
Some more contrast.
Yeah, some more contrast. Somewhere. So I kind of go in with the Sharpie and make that stand
Black
out more.
contrast is your friend. This is the one thing I've
Yeah,
learned from tattooing. Black contrast is your friend.
yeah. So this is where I get to the doodly stage, but oh, I wanted to show you guys one more cool thing. Stamps are a fun thing to do. And they don't always work. They need to kind of be on like a light ground. This ink I have isn't very opaque, so I don't know what this will look like. This is that. You see, it's a
A rose. It's a DSA rose.
right. So, and I just happen to have that. Oh, I know. I'll have to put it up there. That's a good spot. Okay, see what happens here. A little bit. I have a star one too. Let's see. Star there. Maybe this guy needs a big star on his back. There we
Oh, I love that.
go. So I tend to just kind of go crazy. So now I wish this wasn't so greenish. You know what I might do when I scan this to put it so I can make it look totally different, right? So see how it's kind of like the black is kind of gray. So what I would do is I'd scan this in my computer and then I'd go in. I even can do it just in my printer app. Um, Pump up the contrast. I mean, I did that on all the ones, and then I saved it like that. So I saved the scan. I adjust the colors in the scan. Um, so it'll look totally different. So, because I think I would take away this greenish tint. I just play around with it, and I can kind of make it pop digitally. So, see, I don't totally abandon the computer, but
Gotta
I
use the
do.
tools you have.
Yeah, yeah. I use it as a tool to kind of help it along. But I do feel like this the act of I don't know. I could, this was a piece of paper that had string in it. It would be really cool when I scan it. I could put like a piece of string, like I don't know. You can do that. You can do stuff like that too. You know what I mean? You can like
Create some
scan,
texture.
yeah, and then like scan it. Like say there was like a rope, like a piece of string, like trapping these people or something. And then I would scan it, and it would
Oh,
look like 3D kind of.
cool.
Yeah, you can do that kind of stuff. I have and the printer I have, printer scanner, just cheap, 8.5 by 11, color print. It's Epson Eco where you fill the tanks with the ink. You don't have cartridges, so
Okay.
I don't feel so bad. But I think it's like, printers are cheap now, less than $100. Printer scanner, color. But that's, really all you need, connecting to your computer, whatever. Um, But it's a start, it's a start. So I think what I'll do is I'll scan it just like this, and I'll kind of do a play version, and I'll post it in the Discord.
Awesome.
I'll post the piece I did for our project, and then everyone can see it,
Yep. And
and
if
then
people are
see how it adjusted. Maybe I'll scan it regular. I'll show that, like, it's kind of mushy like this, and then I'll change the contrast and kind of make it pop more. Because I've done some where it totally changes it. It makes it look a lot like this, very. You can make it get it like that. That's how I got that like that. Any
cool.
contrast. That gives it that.
And we
Anyway,
and we talked about QR codes while you were gone.
yes,
There is a link in the Discord to a QR code maker. You can make QR codes in Canva. There are other QR code makers out there, but I definitely recommend people like just to like go in and play with it because you can actually create some pretty cool designs with QR codes. You can put like, you know, a logo in the middle of it. You can put a little call me sign in the middle of it or whatever. And you can actually make something that kind of like aligns with like the color theme of your thing if it's not just black and white and you want like something a little bit more than a traditional QR code. And so you can find the link in the Discord for that as well.
Cool. Yeah, I got lazy on my QRs. I found that right in Chrome, it makes one
Hey, I like the traditional ones too. I think it has a look to it. I
with
think
that
there's just I
little
think there's more we can
dinosaur
do.
guy.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool
Cool.
deal.
All right, Allison, do you have anything else you want to contribute
I
to for
don't, but
tonight?
I do
This is
think
really
that,
great.
if people gather together ideas and kind of, get some things going and be not, we could meet together in a, group in the Discord. So, you could run things by me. We can do a little live thing, you know,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm bummed because I thought, oh, Bitchcraft this weekend, and I can't make it to Bitchcraft.
Oh
I got,
no.
I know. I have a hair appointment that it's like really hard to get.
That's all right. We will miss you this
Not a
weekend,
good
but of course
excuse.
we can always connect.
But no, I would be there if I could because I would never miss it.
Hey, I love
Yeah.
it. Well, I can't wait to see the final product that you're gonna scan and put in the Discord, and I'm gonna just do some little wrap up content. Then we got another song to play us out. And guys, I just want to remind everyone, again, thank you for coming to this webinar, and a special shout out to Allison. Let's give a round of applause or snaps rather in the chat for Allison for showing all
Thank
this
you
great
guys.
stuff. And you know, she really is just amazing, so talented, has got a great eye, and I'm glad she was able to walk us through her process because I think that does really help. You can see a lot of the current designs that people have done to get inspired over on unwokeunderground.com. You can download them, you can utilize them. We definitely encourage that. And if you would like to come join us as part of this project, you're going to need to become a supporter either on my Substack or my locals. I definitely prefer my Substack, which is Carlyn, Karlyn .substack.com, and you go to the subscribe button, and it is $8 a month or $80 a year, and that helps grassroots fund my work. It helps pay for my time maintaining all the things I do, producing all the things I do. I think I produce more Unwoke content by myself than some major journalism outlets on the right because I care about this stuff more than they do, and so I'm glad to spend all my time doing it. But I also get to spend my time with you guys that really do care about this. So I do want to emphasize again, if anyone really has financial difficulties and you can't afford $8 a month, please reach out to me. We will find a way to make that like accessible. We'll get someone to donate a subscription or things like that. But if you do have the ability, please don't abuse the system because it's really meant for people who actually need the help. So I do appreciate that. And once you get access to the supporter area on my Actively Unwoke site, what you want to do is you want to find the latest version of the Unwoke Roundup. This, as of this recording, it's going to be the week of September 9th because it is September 11th. So the week of September 9th is going to have all your access codes, including the access code to the supporter Discord. These emails go out each Sunday or sometimes early Monday morning, but I really do try to do Sunday, but sometimes they're early Monday. And you can find a new code each week along with the other supporter perks that you get, like access links to my community Zoom calls, a 10% off discount in the Unwoke Art Store. And if we're doing any special streams like Spy Stream or things like that, you'll be able to find the access information there as well. Again, guys, I just want to thank everyone for coming out tonight to the Zine workshop. Thank you, Allison, again for being such an amazing
You are
lead.
so welcome. It's been a pleasure, you guys. I love, sharing stuff that I'm into and stuff that I do and no mistakes. Just remember, no mistakes.
There are no mistakes.
Just adjustments.
It's just like Bob Ross. Whenever he made a mistake, it was just like he
Yes.
just like, it's a happy little mistake, and
Right.
we improvise. It's the same
We
with
could
this,
just
except
rip it off.
yeah, just rip it off, just put something over it, draw over it, get a Sharpie, black it out, do white out,
Yeah.
do whatever you want. You can That's part of the fun. All right. Well, thank you,
Thanks.
Allison. And we do want to play a video on the way out just to inspire you guys a little bit
Oh,
more.
I can introduce it a little. It's
Yeah.
Richard Hell and the Voidoids. And it's got some cool graphics, but he was, I think it was like 77, 76 in New York City. So he's New York representative, but it's called Blank Generation. And so that's almost like the opposite of the Jello Biafra video because it's talking about the Gen X apathy.
Awesome.
The words.
Well, guys,
Anyway,
I
thanks
hope you
again, you guys.
thank you guys. I hope you enjoy this video on the way out. And thanks for stopping by. And please feel free to share this recording with anyone who might be interested. And we will see you guys on the interwebs. Take care, guys. Have a good night.
I was saying let me out of here before I was even born. It's such a gamble when you get a face. It's fascinating to observe what the mirror does, but when I die it's for the wall that I've set a place. I belong to the blank generation and I can take it or leave it each time. Well, I belong to the generation, but I can take it or leave it each time. Triangles were falling at the window as the doctor cursed. He was a car too long, forsaken by the public eye. The nurse suggested her daughters as I breathed my first. The doctor grabbed my throat and yelled, God, consolation prize. I belong to the blank generation and I can take it or leave it each time. Well, I belong to the generation, but I can take it or leave it each time. Take it. Hold the TV to my lips there, so packed with cash. Carry up flights of stairs and drop it in the vacant lot. To lose my train of thought and fall into your arm tracks and watch beneath my eyelids every passing dot. I belong to the blank generation and I can take it or leave it each time. Well, I belong to the generation, but I can take it or leave it each time. I belong to the blank generation and I can take it or leave it each time. Well, I belong to the generation, but I can take it or leave it each time.